Shy Yeti.
How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti show.
Okay, where you go?
Why have I got horns?
Oh no.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy is right. Gee.
Blimey, Governor, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Paul. 790.
Quack, quack, quack.
I didn't know how he done it.
Excellent. 719er, 719er.
790. 790.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm alright. So what's this episode about? Well, we're just chilling out. Yes. And, well, I don't know. We haven't got a lot planned, but on the other hand, we may be doing some things. Well, I don't know. I know I'm a bit vague, but let's run the theme music, and when we come back, we can discuss it. We can discuss exactly what may or may not occur this episode. All right, run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Keep it rolling.
Good, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The high life, the shy life.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, campers. How are you?
Oh,
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. Do you think he has?
I love the Yeti test. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum.
I don't think I'm ready to speak about it.
Here comes the grizzly. Hi there.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
Like that, yeah.
Marvelous, Paul.
Oh dear, I can't believe that old bag is still around.
Hello, sorry. It sounds like I don't want to be here. That's not true. I'm sitting outside in my parents' garden. And the weather is good. It's probably the first nice few days of this year. Actually, that's not true. When Mateus Grizzly, when he was over here, we did have some nice days. We did have some nice days that week too. Anyway, so you might ask, what am I doing? What am I doing here? And what's going on? Well, I'm here with Yeti Uncle John and Cromitty. Goodness knows why I invited them back down here. Oh, well, not that Cromitty's a problem, but you know, Yeti Uncle John. The trouble is, we find, living where we do, that there are very few parks or areas you can go and sit without going on some long walk, which I can't really do, and the boys don't really want to do. They want to better step out the front door and go and sit in a park. You know, there should be a park near us, but there isn't. There's a canal path, there's industrial estates, there's cycle paths, there are muddy footpaths, but no seats on them. So yeah, it's not the best place. You have to get on a train. That's why I often go up to Richmond Park, because, well, at least, you know, you can sit there and it's nice and it's woody and it's, you know, countryside, and yeah, but it's a train and a bus and then a walk, so not easy, not exactly cheap either. So coming to my parents, I do have a garden outside the back door, and you plenty of space. And yeah, it's sunny. It's a little bit breezy, so I apologise if there's a little bit of bluster on the recording. It shouldn't be much. It's just a light breeze, but you never know what the recording picks up. The birds are happily tweeting. I'm actually working on some music. I mean, you've heard some of it in recent episodes. Some tunes that I've been doing on Udio, which is an AI music site. So I can't claim that the music is 100% mine, but it is at least partially mine. The lyrics are mine, and to a certain extent the arrangement and the choice of which versions of the AI I use, they're my choice. They're my choice. So yeah, it's a collaboration, let's say. But anyway, I've been having fun writing lyrics. It's got me back into writing. So I'm working on that, and I'll be sharing tunes with you throughout this episode. I'm sure you'll hear from Yeti Uncle John and Cromitty, but goodness knows what they'll be up to. I know Cromitty's just set on having, sitting in the garden reading. So Yeti Uncle John is always more restless, of course. Yeti Uncle John always has ambitions. Really, he should just go for a nice long walk, which, you can do around here. I'm not really up for it these days. I used to go for many a long walk back in the day, or cycle ride, but not really up to it. Although I am feeling relatively energetic. I've been up and down the back garden more times today than I've done in months, in years. So, yeah, I'm making the best of having a bit more energy and not having... my rheumatism sometimes gets in the way, and sometimes it attacks my legs and stuff, so it's not always fun to go very far. But today, I wouldn't say I feel like going for a big long walk. I don't think I'll be up for that. But there are chairs in various different positions all over the garden to go and sit on, and I've got a cup of tea here, and I believe that Cromitty's doing something similar. I've got my laptop with me, so I can keep working on the songs, and I'll put a few at regular intervals throughout this episode. I'm a little bit worried about this breeze. I'm concerned that it's going to be a problem. So we'll see. I may have to re-record some of this. We'll see. I hope not. I mean, as I say, it's just a light bluster. That's all. But I know it can be irritating if it's for a long period of time. Anyway, what else is happening in this episode? Well, I have been catching up with one or two friends, and may have recorded with them, so we'll see. I may get some messages from whoever I've met up with. Okay, let me be honest. I am intending to meet up with some friends over the next few days, but it hasn't happened yet, so I don't actually know which of them will keep their appointed time slots. So I hope we'll have some recordings, as well as me chitter-chattering and Cromitty chitter-chattering and Yeti Uncle John chitter-chattering and the music, and I hope there's going to be quite a lot going on, but I don't know yet because not much of it's happened yet. But anyway, well, why don't you listen to a song? I don't know which one it will be. I've been busy doing lots of them, but I don't know which ones I've used already yet. So, oh dear, I've got to drink this tea. So, all right, but I'll be back with you in a bit.
She checks every sultana and she cuddles all the pies. It makes grocers. She compliments each tart, educates each biscuit so it learns to play its part. Kathy, 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 she really is so wise. She checks every sultana and she cuddles all the pies. It makes them feel more wanted, just as every pastry should. Oh, Kathy, 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 a happy cake is always good. Catherine Crumb, keeper of the cakes, selecting all the winners, and she never takes a break. She visits all contestants, she hands out every prize. A golden Christmas pudding, at least 7 foot in size. Kathy, 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 she really is so wise. She checks every sultana and she cuddles all the pies. It makes them feel more wanted, just as every pastry should. Oh, Kathy, 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 a happy cake is always good. Kathy, 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 a happy cake is always good. Kathy, 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 contented cake is always good. Kathy, 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 a happy cake is always good. Kathy, 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 contented cake is always good. Big cake is always good.
Hey, listeners, I've got a little guest for you. Well, he's not a little guest. He's not a tiny guest. Oh, he's just arrived. Who can it be?
Nephew Paul!
Oh, Uncle Warren, so good to see you.
How are you?
I mean, you've been here many, many times. Listeners, this is the first time that...
Damn shit!
This is the first time that Uncle Warren and I have met in person for about 14 years.
And last time I was putting handcuffs on you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't discuss that. How are you? We I promise you, there's no. We won't be fictional today. We'll be real.
Yes. I'm in one piece. How about you?
I'm in one piece. Listeners, we've just been for a nice lunch at the Harvester in West Byfleet.
Yes.
I don't know if I should tell you that. They might follow me.
Other places are optional extras.
They might be waiting for us next time we go there.
Oh, bless her. The waitress, it was her second day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
she was worried about doing the ice cream sundae.
Yeah, she's one of the, it's kind of like refreshing when they talk like a normal person.
Yeah.
She was kind of like, oh, and they're doing this thing, and I don't really agree with it. And I was
how do they make any money here?
Yeah. and I was, yeah, she did a really good job with my ice cream sundae.
Yeah,
apparently,
I'm impressed with that.
When it comes to desserts, the waitresses do the desserts. If it's the ice creamy type desserts, I suppose. Yeah, she did a really good job. I had like one with berries and fruit and stuff in it. I guess it's one of those sort of squirty, like ice cream machines. But
I'd love to have fun with those. Those look excellent fun.
Yeah.
Mr. Whipping machine in the
She
corner.
said, "Oh, I put strawberry sauce in yours. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to," but I'm like, no. It looked really. It really couldn't fault it. It was perfect compared to the strange Knickerbocker glory I had with Mateus not so long ago. That looked more like a banana split, and even to the point it was served in a cereal bowl type style thing.
Perhaps they're trying to tell you something.
But, yeah.
Was that like a huge mountain of ice cream with just a banana stuck in the top?
Well, no. I blanked it out. There is a photo. There is a photo of it somewhere. But,
you were emotionally upset.
Well, you know,
I can tell the tears now are rolling down your cheeks.
That's my hay fever.
That's easy for you to say.
I know it's never. At time of recording, I've just released an episode that we did last summer, and I was only keeping it because usually I try and have 2 Warren episodes in the can, and although I've been on the Cinematic Sausage. Cinematic Sausage is your current title, isn't it?
It is the current title.
The other day I got confused as to whether it was the other way around.
Since I haven't made any in the last 6 months, it's done exceptionally well.
But yeah, we have recorded for you, and then we did some extra material that day. But we haven't done another episode since. So I've sort of kept it, and then you got busy because you've moved to a different part of the world, and which happens to be closer to me, it works well for me. So
almost even closer. I nearly moved.
Yeah, we were talking about how when we were going to the Harvester, you were like, "Oh, I think I went and saw a flat down here," and you really would have been like 5 minutes away. But now you're about half an hour away or something.
Yes, I can wave from my window and still not see you.
Yeah, if you, I mean, I had a bit of an ear infection, which is kind of getting better, but I'm a little bit deaf, so I may not hear you if you call out to me. But when I'm back to normal, you can always just shout out your window, and of course I'll hear you. Yeah, that'll be fine. Half an hour away isn't very far. We're kind of waiting for a certain person to emerge, who you've only ever met online, and he's being very lazy. Dealey, of course.
Doesn't know what he's missing.
Yeah, I shall. Yesterday, when I was recording with Martin for Vision on Sound, he'd only been in bed for an hour, and he decided to emerge and was talking all over my words of wisdom. And today, when we want him to come out, he's still being lazy and having a sleepover.
I'm imagining he has a chaise lounge, and he's sat there in his day gown. And he's going through Cats R Us magazine.
Yeah, where he used to have like
a champagne cocktail.
Yeah, he used to have like a cat igloo thing, but he seems to have. I think because he's got so ultra nosy recently that I think that's too. He as much as he liked having his own space, he misses out what's going on, and I think he likes to keep an eye on us, particularly since we sent him to cat hospital when he was sick during the pandemic, and he didn't see us for 2 days. I think he kind of generally, I mean, unfortunately, fortunately for me, but unfortunately for him, I've got a few things on the next couple of days because Toby's away and we've gone out for lunch today, and I was always going to wake up and find I'm not here. And tomorrow, tomorrow I'm potentially out for nearly 24 hours. That's a lot.
Just warming up.
That's a lot of sneezes.
That's been a trait of mine for years. That's throwing you now, isn't it?
I only sneezed. I only sneezed like once, and then a few weeks ago, I started.
Once is overrated.
Yeah, well, I sneezed like two or three, like in a pattern of two or three, and I did it the next day as well. And I thought, oh, I must have entered a new era of sneezing, because I remember, because if I sneeze now, it tends to start my sinuses up, and it takes ages to kind of get back to normal after I've had a sneeze. And I remember when I was at work, my old boss Anita, she sneezes in a pattern of three, so I always knew if there was two, there was always going to be another one. She never failed to sort of disappoint me. I wasn't sitting there going, "Oh, Anita's going to sneeze!" I'm so excited.
An average of 6 or 7 sneezes every time I sneeze.
Somebody needs to do some sort of dissertation about this. It's a fascinating.
9 constitutes an orgasm. That's why I carry a spare pair of underwear around with me.
But even Dealey does sneezes sometimes. It's quite cute because you forget that pets also do stuff that we do. I mean, it never fails to impress me that's why I think of Dealey as a person, really, because animals, they do all the stuff that we do. They have legs, they have ears, they have sniffs, they sniff and sneeze and yawn, and they're basically us, but with more fur and different ears and maybe a tail.
So did we learn from them?
Yeah, exactly. They're not. It's not like they're completely alien, and it all makes sense. We will get. He's having quite a social few weeks because Mateus came to visit, and I think my friend Owen and his friend Mark came, and so he met those people, and then he's probably going to meet Callum again this weekend, and maybe Levi. And
he's quite a socialite then, is Dean.
He doesn't get a lot because he doesn't go outside.
Right.
Sometimes I'll let him go out in the front yard,
Yeah.
and sort of watch him. When he was a kitten, he ran out the front yard, went under a car that was parked. So, and I did have a lead from him at one stage to see if I could get him to go for walks. But which I think he was a bit sort of, even as a kitten, he was a bit like, "What are you doing to me?" Dogs don't mind that sort of thing, but cats, it's kind of embarrassing to them.
Yeah. I saw somebody walking their rabbit the other day on a lead. That was interesting through the park.
Yeah. And yeah, so just doesn't mean a lot of people, and what with COVID and all sorts, I don't get a lot of people coming and visiting me in this house.
Paul.
But it's fine.
Well, I will come and visit you a lot more.
Good.
There's a lot more lunches coming now.
Yay! We could go to we could have a picnic and go to Richmond Park or something.
Do you know, I did think today we should be going to Richmond Park.
Yeah, because the thing about Richmond Park is I go to Richmond Park as far as I can go. I mean, I used to wander it from top to bottom, but now when I go, I'm really staying on the outskirts. I'm also a bit sort of like, well, I better not go too far. If I'm by myself, I better not go too far, because I've got to get myself back and then get back on the bus and then get back on the train and then, So sometimes I've gone, I thought, well, if I go with somebody else, maybe. But if we've got a car, then we can go right into the central car park and go to a different part that I haven't been to for ages. But so many nice parts of. The good thing about Richmond Park is there are plenty of benches, but there are also plenty of fallen trees, and I have my little. When I'm by myself, I have my little sort of. Okay, well, I walk down that path, and I know there's that tree there, or I just hope that they don't come down there and fight. I think in a park like Richmond, unless it had fallen over the road, they're not going to tidy away a fallen tree, because it's part of the park and it's maybe a habitat for something.
You've not been visiting during rutting season then?
Not. I kind of forgotten when that was, but
back big signs up, isn't there? Be careful.
Yeah, back in the Sutton Park days, I went to Richmond Park because I've been in the Surrey area since 1996. In Camberley, and then Woking, and then here. So that 1996 was still peak Sutton Park recording time. So I definitely did Richmond Park recording when it was a relatively new place for me to go to. And I think we were there where I'm not sure if it was rutting season, but it was certainly more in the winter when it started to get dark, and we were still quite had some way to go to get back to the because when it gets dark, you're sort of forgetting that. It can be dark by 4, or it can go quite quickly.
And the thing with the park there is, you do wander out because it's so beautiful. You're so distracted, and then you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. It's possible to get lost. When I used to go to the real Sutton Park, I had to get used to not, getting lost until I got used to it. It's quite a big area, really. Or if you just wander, you can find there's an exit, but you realise yes, it's a different exit, but you're about 3 miles away from where you need to be. And you have to okay. Although at least in Birmingham there's probably a bus passing by, you might have to work it.
So which do you prefer then, Sutton Park or Richmond Park?
I guess I have to say Sutton Park, although I think Richmond is probably. Is probably better constructed than the trouble with Sutton Park is some of it. I haven't been there, and I haven't been there for quite a while, because my last plan to go up to Sutton Park, having not been for ages, I'd got somewhere booked, and then COVID hit, so I had to cancel it, and I haven't and then my mobility has been worse since, so I haven't gone back. But yeah, it was very nice living somewhere, at least. Having come from Salisbury and living in a village to a big city, but to have a place like Sutton Park, which reminded you of like a bit of New Forest, or talking about the New Forest, I saw an article today where, funnily enough, it was an actress from Neighbours was in the UK, and she'd been in the New Forest, and she'd been having photo opportunities with ponies, and she's obviously a horsey person, and some people had it had got into the news, and apparently you're not supposed to do that or like pet the horses or but apparently the law's only really been in since 2023, because I didn't really. I mean, I don't think I would go up to a horse and pat it because I'd be a bit scared that it was, it's a big thing. I would take a picture of it at a distance. One of the last times I was in the New Forest, I was recording the podcast and a stampede of donkeys ran past me, and
that's a lot of ass.
Yeah, but those donkeys, because we weren't that far from the car park, and I thought, I was hoping to get some Eeyore noises for the podcast, but there were definitely people petting the donkeys, but the donkeys made the first move to come and be petted, so they must be used to being.
They're after food.
yeah. Well, I guess we're just not supposed to feed them, but they would be up for it. You have to be the adult in the. But I can understand. I don't know if they've now got signs saying don't pet the donkeys or don't pet the horses or the ponies. I don't know that you. Previously, I don't know that I'd have known that you weren't supposed to. I just wouldn't have wanted to.
Yeah.
Because
technically they're wild, aren't they? So how are they going to react?
Yeah, and sometimes I think I did have friends when I was younger who, living in a village, there were one or two sort of more well-off families. One family had horses, so I sort of maybe even ridden a horse when I was little, or not little, but like a young teenager or whatever, or been around them, and sometimes even like putting a hand out with a sugar cube on. Sometimes the way they snaffle it, and they maybe even slightly nip you, and it's quite. I don't think I would go up to a horse unless it was, maybe I'd pat its head, but I wouldn't get near its mouth.
Definitely not.
But it was
head or its back end, because it's a flail.
Well, you never know.
Or a deposit.
It was. It might turn out to be like the one from Rent-A-Ghost, or
Dobbin.
Or Warriors of the Deep, the Merker. I was saying this to Martin yesterday. Was the people who played Dobbin in Rent-A-Ghost, weren't they the same people who played the Merker in Warriors of the Deep? I wonder how they differentiated the role, how they approached the role of a sea monster compared to a pantomime horse.
So when they put on their CV, front end or back end, don't they?
Yeah.
So what have you done for the last 5 years? I've been the back end of a horse.
Yeah, I wonder which is the, because the front,
accomplished.
The front end of the horse, you're standing fully upright, aren't you? I think it must be worse being the back end of a horse for many reasons.
And now I'm going to have to check this. I don't know, because that would be.
Oh, I guess we're doing that.
Wouldn't you?
I'm thinking of a centaur. Yes, of course you would be. You probably would be bending forward.
Both of them would have really bad backs.
Yeah. Just so you know, listeners, what Warren actually did the motions there. He considered it. We don't just sit here. We don't just sit here podcast.
We're getting mobile. We do things just because it's radio. We do things.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm doing scenes involving a telephone, I often sort of do a phone.
It's telephone acting for you.
Or I do the stuff that I'm talking about doing, just to help, just to facilitate the acting. But
it brings you into the scene, doesn't it? I think it gives it a little bit more gravitas, and you can hear it on recording. I always say you can hear a smile on a recording.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about acting. The difference between acting and improvising. I know some of the people that I do podcasting with enjoy acting, but they don't really like improvising, and I don't know whether us who aren't technically actors but improvise prefer improvise. I don't know. I would never want to be. I'd never really want to be doing acting on the stage or learning lines, but on the other hand, I love acting when it's improvised. I love doing my own thing.
But don't we all act?
Yeah. I think even if you're playing a version of yourself, I've done it so much for so many years. Who is the real me?
You're turning into Peter Sellers.
Yeah,
Could never remember the real him.
I think I kind of I did certain parts from 92 to about 2000, and then I've done the podcast for 8 years. It's the anniversary anytime. Well, not sure when this is coming out. May have just happened. But that year, those years when so from like 2001 till 2016, when I was doing other things. I was doing plenty of things. I was doing poems and I was doing all sorts, but not much acting. And I kind of miss playing the fiction. I miss the fictional me.
Do you find then when you're performing your poetry that you're you, or are you acting you?
Probably a bit of acting, to have the confidence to do the links between all the. You really need to. You ought to be doing a little bit of banter, and I mean, I've never had that many strangers in the audience because I was always in a small venue and most of the people I knew. But even so, you're still having to put a show together and fill the time, and you want it to be good. You don't want it to be okay just because it's people you know. Or,
do you find that's a harder audience sometimes? The people you know to
it can be, because people just think oh, it's just Paul. Yeah, I did have to say back in I mean, I haven't done one for 8 years, so, just because they
overdue, Paul. Well overdue.
Well, they sort of priced us out of the market a bit because people. To be fair, I was quite happy to finance it and maybe get some people to donate to charities, but it wasn't. Sometimes people were coming, they weren't even donating to charity, and also then it was getting more and more expensive to hire. It was difficult to justify doing it as a, was it just an ego boost to do it? But I did it. I did enough of them that I kind of got out of my system. And I didn't really know it was in my system until I started doing it. Somebody I was dating kind of said you should go to the... Somebody who wasn't particularly... I wouldn't have said was always very supportive or was very good at taking the piss out of... jokingly. Yeah. But a bit like Yeti Uncle John does, although I hope Yeti Uncle John doesn't mean it. But it was that person who was the one who said, I've seen there's open mic nights, you should go along. I went along and supported me and did me a videoed me doing my bit. And then it kind of, when it mattered, he did push me to do quite a few things. And, yeah, so do need to be pushed sometimes to do things. Or to kind of take a different step, but I can also be very. I can make a decision very quickly. Like when I decided to do a podcast, it was pretty much. I'd already been around podcasters, and maybe I'd done little bits for Toppy, and I'd listened to podcasts. But when I decided to do a podcast, it was I think it was like a boring bank holiday, probably the May bank holiday, because I know that's what I say. I know that our anniversary is sort of late May. I think I just had a bit of a boring bank holiday and thought, I might just do a pilot episode. I was thinking, I think I might have told Toppy, I'm thinking about doing one. I might sort of plan to do an episode in the summer, and then but I can't wait for if I have an idea, I have to start it tomorrow. It's like when I was doing the AI songs, a friend sent me the web link and I was into it immediately, and I haven't really stopped since. But sometimes my enthusiasm can be a burst of 6 months and then I'm out the other side and I'm on to something else, so you just don't know. But I think doing the AI stuff has been the route I needed to get back into doing more verse, because I did kind of feel like I'd done everything that I wanted to do, and but I was at the stage where I was writing poems that were like song lyrics, like with verse chorus, and I don't think I ever did call a book this, but I wanted to do a book called Lyrics Without a Tune or something like that, and so now having the music, even though it's not technically mine, it's come from from wherever AI gets it, it does mean that I've kind of started thinking particularly that it works well with the quirky ideas. So yeah, it's sort of been a push back into it. I was kind of looking to do more, but anyway, where's that cat? He's still not here.
Cat's out in the town, and you didn't realise it.
We might we may just fade down and fade back up again and record again once he arrives. Anyway, we'll have to do another TV episode at some point.
Absolutely.
Whether we do it in person or whether we do that, don't know. I don't know if we would go off tangent too much if we do whole episodes in the same room, but we might need to go online to do.
Keep us on the straight and narrow.
I don't know. Well, you know, those big blue pills in that episode.
Oh dear.
Did awful things to your nose. Anyway, thank you for coming to see me today, and may it be the first of many trips. And
absolutely.
And yes, we've got to do something else in a minute, listeners. More material, more stuff, but we will hopefully record with Deals, presuming he's not sneaked out and he's gone off with my credit card or something. But actually, I don't have a credit card anymore, so it's fine. He'll soon be embarrassed if he tries with that. But all right, I'll go and find him.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hello, listeners. How are you? Yes, I'm good. Oh, having a little bit of a sit in the countryside. Well, to be precise, I'm staying at Mr. and Mrs. Chandler's house. Yes. Oh, it's so nice here. So nice. I mean, for Paul, you know, we don't live in like central London. There are countryside areas around us, but they don't have the seats. The good thing about this place is, Paul's family have a nice sized garden, but then they have access to an allotment that they own. So, and there is a seat and a table under a tree. It's a silver birch tree. It's beautiful, and we've had quite a long winter. It's been quite cold. At time of recording, obviously, you'll hear this later in the year, and it'll either be the summer or who knows. With the show, it could be the autumn. But anyway, sort of sunny weather was quite late coming this year. Didn't arrive until certainly the first couple of weeks of May. But this week has been lovely. So who knows how long it will last. Also, sometimes it just gets too warm. And there is a breeze today that is perfect. So I am out in the allotment, in the chair with a coffee, and it's so nice. I've been reading a book. I've been reading an Agatha Christie book called The 13 Problems. Is it The 13 Problems? It's Miss Marple short stories. A friend of mine recommended it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it, but oh dear. So yes. What else was I going to say? I'm not sure where Paul is. I think he's been working on more songs for you. So you might hear some of those later, or maybe you've already heard some of them. I don't know. Oh. Here comes somebody you'll recognise. Oh, hello, Cromitty, are you talking? Are you recording? Yes, Yeti Uncle John, I am recording. Oh, you can't escape people recording things these days. Oh, if it's not Paul, it's you. I just thought the listeners might like a little view on a summer's day, although at time of recording, I guess, are we in summer? It's a little bit early for summer. It's not spring, it's late spring. May, is that late spring? Yes. Well, I'm sure the viewers will appreciate it when they listen to this in December. Oh, Yeti Uncle John, it's funny you say that. I was saying that depending on when things go out, it may be that they don't hear it quite as soon, but who knows? I'll tell him. Maybe he'll put it in an episode that happens during the summer. Yes. Oh, it's very nice here, isn't it? It's a nice breeze. That's exactly what I was saying, yes. A nice breeze. Have you seen Paul? Oh, he's upstairs on his laptop. He doesn't know it's sunny. I mean, he knows it's sunny, but it doesn't seem to bother him or interest him. Oh, what is he doing? Oh, he's working on more of them songs, AI songs. What do you think about that? Well, it's difficult. I mean, the good thing is, at least he is involved in the process. It's not like he pressed a button and the song emerged, like fully formed. He has to do things. He has to guide it from a short sample. He's writing the lyrics as well. Well, yes, I suppose so. I suppose there is some talent involved. I mean, couldn't he just press a button and get AI lyrics? Wouldn't they be better than the ones he'd write? Oh, Yeti Uncle John, you're so nasty about his verse. No, it's good. He wants to, he wants it to be a creative effort. He wants to put some of his own sort of talents into it. Talents? Him? Well, I guess if that's what you call it. Oh, stop it now. There's nothing wrong with Paul's verse. It's nice to see him writing again. The last few years, the only creative output he's had has been like the podcast. Nothing wrong with the podcast. We're part of the podcast. Yes, I know that, but Paul, he's a creative person, and he's always wanted to write songs, or at least be part of songwriting. I suppose he has, apparently. Oh, Yeti Uncle John, you pay such little interest in what Paul does. Well, what interest does he pay in mine? Well, quite a lot. I mean, his show involves you and your magpies for a start. I think at least you can give him the benefit of your attention. Oh dear, I didn't come here for a lecture, Cromarty. Well, no, but look, I was quite happily talking to the listeners about what I was doing, and it was nice and peaceful. I didn't come here for an argument, so... I've got my coffee to drink. You've got a coffee? Yes. You're not going to share it with me? Oh, Yeti Uncle John, the old me would have happily lent you my coffee. Not lent you it, given you my coffee. Oh, that's what I thought. Ah, yes, but this is the new Cromarty. I'm not sure I like this new Cromarty. Well, that's how it's gone, It's what Warren told me, It's what Warren taught me about having more confidence, standing up for myself, doing what's right for me. That's what I'm doing now. So, tough luck, that's my coffee. And you'll have to go and get your own. Oh dear. It really is tough love with you these days, isn't it? Well, it's not before time. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I appreciate the new Cromarty. Well, that's tough luck too. Yeah, apparently. Oh, well, I suppose I'm going to have to go back in and make my own coffee. Well, I'm sure you'll be able to do that. I mean, it's only a matter of taking the coffee out of the cupboard, putting some coffee granules in a cup, pressing the button on the kettle, and then it bubbles up. I mean, you can even press the button on the kettles first, and then be doing the other things whilst it's bubbling. It's all pretty simple, Yeti Uncle John, and I know you know how to do it. You're just very lazy. Oh, blooming heck. I really didn't think coming up here I was going to have this conversation with you. Oh, Yeti Uncle John, look, this is the new Cromarty, but he's not boring. I don't know about boring, but he's not the Cromarty I know. Ah, yes, but look, the new Cromarty wants to do things. The new Cromarty wants to try different things. The new Cromarty isn't perhaps quite so much of a square. He isn't quite so much set by old-style rules. Really? I mean, is that true? Yes, definitely. Yes, and that could mean that I bend the limits that I used to put upon myself. So what exactly? Well, I'm up for trying things, doing things that maybe I would never have done in the past. Well, let's say, you know how, I know how you like to do things your way. I know how you are very keen to, sometimes you bend the rules. And I'm happy that, perhaps to join in with you a bit more. Really? Yes, for instance, I like the idea of wedding crashing, even funeral crashing. Wedding crashing, funeral crashing, or what does that involve? That involves going to a funeral or going to a wedding and then kind of mixing with the group and turning up for the party afterwards. Cromitty, you can't do that. You can't turn up at a party you've not been invited to. You have to have an invitation. But do you? I mean, we blend in quite well. It's not like, forgive me for saying this, it's not like we're young and beautiful. It's not like anyone would even notice. It's not like anyone would even notice, We just blend in. We just blend in as one of the crowd. We could be somebody's uncle or grandfather in your case. Grandfather? I'm not old enough to be someone's grandfather. Oh, Yeti, Uncle John, of course you are. So am I. But, yes, we blend into the background and then we have some free food. The same with funerals. Who really knows who knew the deceased? Cromitty, I can't believe you're saying this. I can't believe you're saying this. This is very naughty. What does Paul think about this? Oh, I'm not going to tell Paul. Don't be ridiculous. He would completely disagree with it. And, it's nice to have a few secrets. This is the new Cromitty. I have different ideas. Well, I mean, I could be persuaded to be involved. Oh, yes, of course you could, Yeti, Uncle John. Of course you could. You'd love it. You'd love it. So, all right, then. Yeah, I'm in. So when are we doing it? No, I don't know. Maybe later this episode. Maybe next episode. Or soon. I've got to find out when there are going to be some good weddings that we can just show up at. The same with funerals. Well, can't you just go and turn up at the church? You can do, but, I mean, we don't want to go to, like, rubbish weddings or rubbish funerals where, they've just got a few crackers and some warm beer. No, we want to make sure we're going to the right parties. Yes, we need to do our homework. We can't just turn up and say, oh, congratulations, Susan and Abigail, for your wedding. And then it turns out that they're not called Susan and Abigail, they're called George and Philip or something. Oh, yeah, good point. And the same with the deceased. We can't go in there pretending to cry about, I don't know, old Miss Spinster Lady. And it turns out that their name is actually old Sir Bachelor Man. You know what I mean? Yes, okay, I realise. Yes, I see. It's not as simple. It's not as simple as that. That's what you're saying. I get it. Yeah, sure. All right. Well, let's do some research. Yes, but don't tell anyone. Listeners, I can see you looking very disapproving. And, don't you tell anyone. You can come with us on our adventures, but you mustn't be a tattletale. You can come with us and help yourself. Oh, my goodness. If you'd have told me a few months ago that we'd be sitting here having this conversation, I wouldn't have believed it. You're naughty. Cromitty, you're really naughty. I know. I like it. It's good for me. And what exactly made this, change in you? Did you bang your head? Well, not that I remember, quite possibly. But no, it was partly talking to Mr. Warren. He was very encouraging. So, yes. Oh, so you've been playing the long game. Yes, that happens quite a lot on the Shy Life podcast. Little kernels of ideas. They take a few months to grow and percolate under the ground, and then eventually they come springing out of the earth and they take over the whole show. Oh, blimey. This ain't going to end well, Crobbity. Oh, no, probably not, but isn't that the fun of it? Seeing how long we can get away with it? I mean, this is just the start. Crobbity, I love it. I was kind of scared. I never thought I'd say that either. Well, you just stick with me, boy. Oh, yes, we're going to have some fun. Anyway, I've got to drink my coffee, and you need to run along and do whatever you need to do. I could stay. We could share your coffee. No, I want some peace. I have to think. I have ideas. I need to look through the papers for births, deaths, and marriages, or like announcements of weddings. There's a lot of work to do, and I want to be the one to do it because I can't trust you. Oh, charming. I could have the magpies do research. Well, yes, maybe, but I'm thinking it's something we should do, when we're in Salisbury, away from home. And we can get away with it, and Paul won't even realise. Yeah, maybe you're right. Anyway, well, good talking to you, Cromitty. Let me know what you come up with, all right? Oh, I will. Oh, for sure I will. This is going to be fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm still scared. Anyway, I'll run along. I'm going. Oh, dear.
And welcome to the Shy Life podcast. This is Nick Goodman here, having returned from his travels on holiday with his wife Ali. This year, should I say, it was Cornwall. We're doing it slightly differently this time round because I think when you're on holiday, you switch off. I'm a great one for routine, but once routine is gone, and the holiday starts, it's very difficult to remember what to do from start to finish, especially as the evenings are so different as well. So this is a kind of resume, just to fill you on what happened and what my holiday looked like. Basically, we started. It was a sort of elongated holiday because we started in the on the Friday. We went off to London on the Friday. This was a sort of little extra bit at the beginning of the holiday, which we decided that to sort of hook the holiday onto the end of, so we can just do the two of the things all at the same time. And that was the flea market, the West End Flea Market, which is done every year at the Covent Garden. That's for the Acting for Others charity, a charity which collects for actors that can't work anymore, which myself and Ali are patrons of. Now, what happened with this was we were volunteers for this market, which basically is when all the West End shows get together and they bring with them a lot of merchandise and general tat for them to sell, and some of the people, particularly those who are men dressing as women, dress in their fineries and come and promote the show. This is extremely popular. I was one of the things, I wasn't sure what I was doing. I thought it was suggested that I would be moving furniture and moving stuff from side to side and getting, but no, I was apparently, well, first of all, we weren't allocated at all. The organiser hadn't written us down on the list, which we weren't too happy about. And we basically, this was on the Saturday, we stayed in Tooting on the Sunday, the Friday. You can tell I'm not with it, having returned today. But yes, and we used that as our base, and did the Saturday and went away we left London on the Sunday, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I was rather dreading the idea of doing the stalls because previously I'd had machines to work it all out. And sums are not my best thing, and also it's been 25 years since I've served a customer. It's interesting that just before I returned home yesterday, I had a dream that I was suddenly working at Four Boys. With a long-standing Shy Life listeners will remember that I worked for Four Boys PLC, the newsagent people, for 10 years. And I'm one of these people that dreams about being plonked back into a situation like that with no preparation whatsoever. And it was very scary, and I got in a complete muddle, but that's probably a result of that, having to sort of contemplate that. But I was saying, I'm not quite sure how I fit in, because I was constantly being sent to stalls that didn't actually need me. So in the end, I helped Ali, who had already been volunteered for the front door, and we took it from there. So I helped her with the front door, the gate, saying what people can come in, what people can't come in, helping them, helping the security people, and generally stuff like that. So my first feeling was that it was a complete waste of time, and my second feeling was that something good did come of it. But I don't think it's for me. It's all a bit camp. But no, it was an experience anyway. So we went back to Tooting, and on the day of Tooting, we actually, on Monday, we took a train to Exeter to break up the journey to Cornwall, because Cornwall, it was our destination, and it's been on the cards since pre-COVID. Originally, Paul and myself were going to the Devon area, Paul to see his brother, and me to kind of check out the locations for the armchair thriller story High Tide, which was shot at Newton Ferrers. And one of my sort of submissions whilst in Cornwall was to pop over to the border to Devon and go to Newton Ferrers. But more of that later. Basically, Exeter overnight at a holiday express, which was very nice. And we then went on to St Ives, which we've been to many times before. Ali, her family, before myself, it became a regular thing in the 90s with them. When I came along in the noughties, we went to St Ives a couple of times with their family, Ali's family, their brother and his then girlfriend and his then future wife, a few years later. It's a lovely, lovely place, real old seaside, Cornish. One can imagine smugglers rolling their barrels down the lanes, very hilly, it's a lovely little arty community. And most significantly for myself, in 2008 we recorded some of the scenes for my final regular film, A Different Colour Graveyard, which Gareth Brownbow, Sarah Cheney Brownbow, Ali and myself all got into a car, went to Cornwall for a long weekend, and we shot some scenes at Hale Beach and some at St Ives. And so it brought back a lot of nice memories about that and earlier times. So it was our first visit to St Ives since, we think, 2016, and the first one where we'd actually stayed. We stayed at the top of the hill in a guest place called the Organic Panda, which was a large arty sort of art studio-y kind of place with a lovely view of the sea, and we basically had a lovely time there, a lovely spacious room, and on the first day we just completely romped around St Ives, reacquainting ourselves with the bits we knew, acquainting ourselves with the bits we didn't know, descending on the lifeboat gift shop, which was previously sold coin holders. I'm a great fan of coin holders. I'm rather dismayed that they've kind of gone out of fashion because they were very big when I was starting to work, and I collect them wherever I see them. Fortunately, a leather shop, I think called Terry's, in St Ives, provided me with 2 new coin holders. That is one of those little pillar flip ones, a gold one and a leather one. I still have the circular one where you can put the coins in. I know it's trivial, but I think it does help, and I can't believe that they haven't actually brought them back. But never mind. We had chips, we had fish and chips, we had ice cream. Of note, and this is one of the first things that springs to mind when I bring to mind St Ives, is a little place called the Harbour, which is on the seafront, or should I say the harbour front, and it contains within it. Now, I'm not really into games, but this is a kind of fun, target game. Called the Hillbilly Moonshines, which has these hillbilly figures in a little community of their own, and you have to shoot at various targets, and they've to add to the fun, they spray water at you, and I don't usually not into that games all that much, but it was quite fun, and we both videoed each other having a game, and it hasn't changed very much. We always go there dreading that they would have wrapped it up, but they haven't. It's still there, and it's still a lot of fun. And we both got drenched, which was just as well because it was a very hot day on the Tuesday, which was our first full day there. So yes, Hillbilly Moonshines and the beach. We checked, chilled out on the beach. Cooked breakfast every day, which I think something didn't agree with us appetite-wise. As I say, stomach-wise, we both had sort of unsettled stomachs. That might have been the change of water. Maybe it was the food. I don't know. But on the very beginning of the holiday, I took Ali to the curry kitchen, which is sort of on the approach up to the hill, and had a lovely, lovely curry. But on the Wednesday, that was kind of my little mission day, because we popped off to Bodmin, and Bodmin Park. We stopped off Bodmin Parkway. That was my first visit since 2016. I'm pleased to say the bus service has improved no end. I probably mentioned this before, but an ex-girlfriend of mine, a lovely lady called Jill Shattuck, who died very sadly in 1996 at the age of 29, is buried up in Bodmin Cemetery. And whenever I'm passing that way, as with all remembrance things, I like to visit her grave and pay my respects. So that was nice. Ali and I both did that, and we had a little romp in town, and came across a Art Nouveau lamp. Green Art Nouveau lamp, which took both our fancies, and we now have it in the guest room. So, Paul, when you're next down, you'll be able to have a look at it. It's Best Buy the record player. It's replacing one that isn't really light enough for that particular corner. So it looks rather gorgeous, but it's been a bit of a job keeping it in one piece. All the way from Bodmin and to Ives and back again. So that was that. We were going to Newton Ferrers for the location trip on also the latter half of that day. We're stopping off at Plymouth, which is where Newton Ferrers is, only to find that there was only about 1 or 2 buses there. So it was generally decided by the pair of us that maybe that's not such a good idea. So we spent the afternoon in Plymouth. Now, of course, again, you might know Plymouth is. I have family there. I had my grandparents lived there until the mid-70s when they died. My cousin still lives there, and my godson, who got married recently. And apparently we weren't invited, but there wasn't really time to actually summon them up. Or indeed my friend Linda, I thought, well, we haven't got a car now, so it's a little bit tricky to get to people. So, however, a nice surprise awaited us on Thursday when we went to Truro. On our journey to and from Bodmin, we saw Truro Cathedral, and Ali had been there before. She was enthusing about it, and we discovered that there was an organ recital. Now, we both like our organ recitals, and decided that that's how we were going to spend Thursday. On our way to Truro on Thursday, an old friend of ours from church, Amy Bracey, put on Facebook that she was in Truro, and Ali immediately answered back and said, "Oh, are you around? Let's meet for coffee," which indeed we did, and it was nice to see her. It's been 20 years since we last saw her, so that was nice, and that coincided brilliantly with the recital, an Elgar recital in Truro Cathedral, which was glorious. And we had a little look around Truro Cathedral afterwards, which was, it was a very pleasant afternoon. So Friday, we did got a bit of washing done at St Ives, and Friday we did pop off and had some, after a couple of Wetherspoons meals was the other thing. We went off to Exeter. Last night we were in Exeter, and Ali treated me to a meal at I forget what it was called, with the Tamusta Indian restaurant in Exeter, where we had an excellent biryani. It was superb. Very busy restaurant, very popular. And today, it's all over. We come home, and and resting our weary way. Delighted that it's going to be the bank holiday. It's looking good. The weather's very nice, and an all-round enjoyable holiday. Don't know when the next one is. There's talk of Norfolk, because we're going to stay with a friend of mine who I used to work with, but it all depends on the films that I'm doing with Muffley with the LDFF, and when those will be recorded. So we will wait for those dates to come along and then book it around it, I think, and probably Scotland, as it's Ali's 50th this October. So anyway, signing off now, and I hope you enjoy my little regime. Ta-ra.
Hi listeners, how's it going? Everything's going fine my end. Weather's still nice. Just been pottering around, working on the laptop, enjoying sitting outside. It's all good. And here comes Yeti Uncle John. Yeti Uncle John, how you doing? What you been up to? Oh, Paul, hello. How are you? I'm all right. How are you? Oh, I'm all right. Yes, I'm fine. What's going on? Well, I'm just working, sitting outside and chilling, doing a bit of editing. You're always editing, you are. I am, yes. Have you seen Cromitty? Yes, he's just chilling up the allotment. Oh, good, yes, that's what he said he was going to do. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get some fresh air, isn't it? Sometimes you can be a bit, stuck indoors. Yes. I mean, I can sit on the veranda, on the balcony of the Magpie Hut and look at the M25, but I did forget about that when I was telling the listeners earlier. I said it's not a great place for going outside and sitting, and I did forget there is the walk between the flat and the M25 bridge where the spaceship is located, but it isn't the best place for sitting. Yeah, well, I don't mind it, but yeah, more than one of you, and that's quite enough. Yes, and, well, people walk their dogs on that bit of common land. Yeah, don't I know it? Yeah, it's not always a particularly nice place to be spending time. No, it has its moments, but... whilst I think of it, how's Hubert? How's who? Hubert Gentry, your kind of housemate, or kind of... I suppose he is my neighbour. I think of him as my neighbour. Yeah, well, how is it? I often forget he's there, Paul, to be honest. I don't hear from him day in, day out. So, he's not the social butterfly I was hoping he'd be. Well, Yeti Uncle John, I could have told you he was never going to be a social butterfly. He really was never going to be like that, because that's not the kind of guy he is. Yes, so I realise. He's he's a nice guy. I thought we had potential to become really close friends. Sometimes he'll play a game of cards with me, or a game of Scrabble, but he won't come into the actual magpie hut. We have to play it, well, remotely. Well, that's more than I expected from Hubert Gentry, but anyway. I need to go. Yeah, well, fine. I'll need to do some research, Paul, for a project that Cromitty mentioned. Oh, a project. Interesting. Well, what is it exactly? It's top secret, Paul. Can't discuss it with you. I'm sure you'll hear about it one day. Or maybe you won't. Maybe that's for the best. Oh, gosh. It's Uncle John, you're full of ambiguous comments. Yes, well, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. All right, well, speak to you later. Run along. Anyway, listeners, I'll let you go back to whatever it is that I'm going to put on next. Maybe a song, maybe a chat with somebody I've bumped into recently, or I don't know, maybe something from the archives. Who really knows? I don't, and it's my show, so okay.
All the tiny kittens watching with a nervous stare because Dealey is a werecat and he's as shaggy as a bear. When the sky is full of stars, when the world seems kind of wrong, Dealey's out there in the night and he will sing this sorry song. Meow meow, how, howly how, I want my dinner, I want it now, I want my dinner, I want it now. Meow meow, how, howly how, I want my dinner, I want it now, I want my
Hi listeners, we've got another special guest at the flat. Dealey checked their credentials at the door and allowed them in. He's an old friend of both Dealey's and the show. It's Callum. We're not doing any quizzes today though.
Shame.
Well, we still have some to use, I think.
I didn't bring my batch.
Yeah, we'll do some more when I've used them all. But have you been doing lots of walks? I always see lots of photos.
Yeah, well, now the weather's a little better. I was out Thursday, just making use of the lighter evening. So I'd been to see my mum, and then thought I want to do a walk. Then there's like a site that does all these rail to trail, so it seems a bit DIY. It's essentially where you're using public transport either at the beginning or the end, so you might be doing a walk from one railway station ending at another, or a circular walk from a station. So this one was Farnham to Bentley, and some of it was quite nice. Then there's part of it where you're basically walking through a housing area, housing estate.
Well, I think back in the 90s, when after I stopped going to football with you, but I would perhaps go to Aldershot and have lunch and then go on and do something else and then meet you after the match. And so I wouldn't have had hours and hours. I would have just had 3 hours, whatever it took for the match to happen. And I think I might have got off at 4 Marks. Is that a station? Is 4 Marks a station?
So that's on the Walkcrest line. So it goes Aldershot, Farnham, Bentley, and all.
Well, maybe it was Bentley. I got off. Is there woods one side of Bentley Station?
Yeah, I need to go back there just to probably conclude this walk and have a look at another one. But
I remember going through some fields up into the woods and then sort of wandering for a while and thinking, I think I'm going to have to turn around now because I don't quite know. I'm not going to be able to get to wherever it leads to. So.
Out of Farnham, you then get to Recklesham, which is like on the edge of Farnham, and then you go past Badgewaltley football ground, and then you're out into the side of this quarry, and then from there the path goes down. It's following the railway line pretty much all the way, and then the path goes down towards the River Way, but unfortunately that's where the path gets quite, well, it was too muddy for me, and there's like standing water in some of it.
Actually, some of the photos you sent, it reminded me, I don't think it was the same place. I remember us going for a walk in maybe the spring and then finding that we walked all this way and then all of the path was flooded.
Yeah.
And the station, we could see the station, but we couldn't get to it.
Leatherhead, as I just remember.
I don't know. I mean, that does flood around there, but I don't think it was that one. I think we did find a way, but I think we had to skirt around.
So there's always a problem with the walk because you don't know. If you don't know that particular walk, it's all very well getting past one muddy bit. You don't know if there's going to be another one a few yards down that's worse. So you've got to judge what to do. And it said in the notes, it said stick to the higher path at that point, and then which I did, but then eventually it goes down to the lower path, and I was never going to get through that. But I turned around, but unfortunately up on that higher path there's bits of barbed wire on the on the ground that you're catching on your legs. Very safe.
I remember the thing is, when I'd be going out doing Sutton Park, I wouldn't necessarily cover that much distance because I'd be recording, and perhaps I'd be staying in one location for a while. So it was never necessarily. You'd spend a lot of time not going that far at all, really.
So yesterday's walk was more. That was in several bits, because the first bit, I was trying to follow a shortcut, and again I got down a very muddy path, but I was able to negotiate it and then get on the road, walking along a road to the village where the actual designated walk starts. This is in Waltham, West Waltham, St Lawrence, and then I got 3/4 around this walk, which is a really pleasant walk, through dry paths, like meadows and stuff, and then got to a sunken path which was all flooded, so I had to turn back, but it wasn't too far out of the way.
Yeah, because it's not the weather, as you say. The weather is improving now, but it was quite wet even into the start of May. So it's only the last week or so that it's maybe 2 weeks where it's been more sunny. So the ground hasn't necessarily caught up yet. I was telling you how I visited Clerkenwell to see a friend yesterday, and I recognised this pub, the Wilmington. I'm sure we'd been into it because we used to do so many different pub crawls. Or not, that makes it sound like we just, our Thursday night drinks.
You did.
We'd just have like 2 or 3 pubs, and I had a pretty good meal there. And what was that place? Was it Exmouth? No.
Yeah.
Exmouth Market. Yeah, it was a nice little. Perfect if I lived there, because you've got so many different places to eat and cafes, and you've got a nice little park to go and sit in. And it's all in a block of. It's not far at all.
Not far from King's Cross.
Yeah. I think I did more walking trying to find the bus stop to get to Clerkenwell than I did when I got to Clerkenwell, really. But at least I know which stop to get it from if I'm going there again. But so it was a bit of a stupid little stop underneath a bridge. So Bealey hasn't been going anywhere, have you, dear? Having lots of visitors. Been minding the flat when I go out. He can tell if I get a particular bag out. He's like, starts telling me off. He knows that means I'm going away. And I thought I was going away on Friday and took the bag out, and he started getting all cross with me. So I must have been surprised when I didn't actually end up going anywhere because it got cancelled. But, well, listeners, we should be seeing Callum again quite soon because it's nearly his birthday. It might already be his birthday by the time I use this, but so I don't know. We did have bigger plans, but I think I need to work out what I can and can't do. So we'll be meeting in some form. So. Do you know what else you'll be doing with your time off, or where you're aiming to go, or is it still a work in process? Yeah.
I've got an idea about possibly going to the Peak District, but I need to work out the logistics. Yeah,
I've only really been to the Peak. Well, I've been to the Peak District without a car, but I had definitely been with other Paul when he had at one point where he had a car. I was trying to think of places that we could go for, even for like just a night and stuff. I can't really go to big cities. I need to go to smaller places, and then it's a matter of thinking what's not that far away, really. But I'm sure. Well, maybe I'll maybe I'll get a bit more mobile anyway and be able to do something. But anyway, well, thank you for coming and seeing Dealey. Dealey's very pleased.
Yes.
Yeah, Dealey's very pleased. Dealey's asleep, but at least he's in the lounge. When Warren came over, he stayed in the bed the whole time and didn't leave the bed. But I still got some pizza left over, deals, if you're interested. No? All right then. Well, we'll see you again soon, Callum.
See you later.
Say goodbye, deals. Bye-bye. That was me, in case you didn't realise. Hi listeners, we've got another guest at the house. Yes, we've had so many guests in such a short space of time. Dealey can't cope with it. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Can you guess who the guest is? If I say he's come down from Salisbury, no, not Nick. Guest, introduce yourself.
Hello, listeners. This is Levi, the one and only.
Hey! It's the first time you've been to my flat.
Yeah, it's a lovely flat. I almost feel like staying and never leaving.
You did have a little bit of trouble getting down here, though.
Oh, yeah. I got lost several times.
Yeah. You shot past on a train and ended up in Waterloo. And then you had to come back. The trouble was, to get to my flat, you have to change in Woking and go on a different train. And then your train... Well, tell the listeners what was happening with your train.
Oh, my gosh. So, the train... It didn't announce the stops. And, what do you call it? Like those... The electronic board. The electronic board got stuck on Gridley. And it was like... I was like,
Every station is...
Didn't I pass that station like 2 stops ago? and then before I noticed, I was in Waterloo.
Yeah. Then you had to come back. So, well, I'd been rushing around a bit, getting ready for your arrival. So, I just sat down and did my Italian lessons until you got here. But anyway, you did get here, and we got... I ordered in pizza, and you went to get some extra bits and pieces, and then you kind of got lost on the way to the supermarket.
Yeah. I need to have like a navigating system installed into me.
At least you haven't got lost in the flat. I've had a text going, I got lost on the way to the lavatory.
Yeah, it's Google Maps. Google Maps is absolutely horrible when it comes to direction, because it'll be like, take this route for the shortest journey, and then before you know it, you're passing through some forest in the middle of nowhere.
Well, there are some paths around here that sort of have, like, because of the old racetrack that was around here, there are paths, but then sometimes you end up at the end of the path and there's like a metal fence, and it obviously Google Maps doesn't know that they've changed the access rights or whatever, so it's quite easy. There's little sort of pathways that perhaps aren't on Google, but anyway, you did get to a supermarket eventually, and then we watched some TV, didn't we, last night, and ate some of our food.
Yeah, we did. We watched Insatiable. Totally recommend to watch. It's
on Netflix. Yeah. And we did try and watch Tenebrae, a Italian horror film that I like, but you didn't cope very well with it because I didn't have enough story.
If you into just pretty girls getting murdered, then probably. But that was basically it. There was like only 20 minutes of not even 20 minutes, 20 minutes or less of dialogue in the entire movie.
Well, we'll never know who the killer was, though, because I can't remember who. I think the killer might be a woman, surprisingly. I don't think it was a male killer, but
go figure.
I can't quite remember, but anyway, and then today we were going to, because Dealey was shocked because I gave up my bed and slept out here with Dealey, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" Luckily, you closed the bedroom door, so you didn't get Dealey trying to sit on you at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, what did you make of Dealey? He seemed to be quite interested in you and your food.
Yeah, Dealey was amazing. Best cat in the world.
I was worried that he was kind of deliberately trying to stay up because he wanted to be part of the gang. So after we'd had breakfast this morning, I took him, or maybe it was after lunch, I took him back to the bedroom and put him under the duvet where he is currently. So maybe we'll have a bit of peace and quiet because you have to. Levi will be leaving us soon. Deals. Levi will be leaving us soon, listeners. But anyway, we have other things to be talking about before the end of the episode. Anyway, but thankfully, Yeti Uncle John and Comedy aren't about, so you won't get bothered by them today.
Oh, thank God.
Well, that's the reason I invited you down. I thought when the house is quiet, we don't have any of the of my usual weirdos here. Sorry, guys, but yeah, we were going to go for a pub lunch, but we had so many bits and pieces left over from the night before, and we were feeling a bit lazy and just wanting to chat. That the weather's not that great out there. I've seen people with umbrellas going past. It didn't seem much point going to a pub this time when we'd got leftovers to eat. So, and you made some nice sandwiches with some ham and lettuce and stuff that you bought yesterday, and I've eaten enough bread to last me the last few, because listeners will already know we had Callum here just the day before, and we had pizza that day as well. So,
pizza.
But I mean, mainly because it's just the easiest thing to order, and I know it usually gets here pretty quickly. So, but anyway, you're in a new flat in Salisbury, aren't you? And that's all going okay?
Yeah, it's actually it's in a very posh area, so it's really nice. It's like really lovely.
That's good. Because I didn't get to see you last time I was in Salisbury because I wasn't in Salisbury that long. But anyway, well, thank you for coming to visit me, and I hope you've enjoyed your visit and meeting the celebrity Dealey the cat. You got the seal of approval from him. So.
That's the only thing that matters.
Yes. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you again soon, and hopefully you won't get lost on the way home. I hope not.
Hopefully I don't get lost.
Don't end up in Exeter or something.
Probably reaching Wales or something.
Okay. Well, you know my theory about your accent. I think that's where your countrymen came from. Originally was Wales, but that's what it says on Wikipedia. But Levi the Welshman. Anyway, we'll speak to you soon. We'll see you soon, and have. You're going on holiday, aren't you? You're is it Singapore?
No, Taiwan.
Taiwan.
I'll be in Taiwan probably by the end of the first week of next month of May, June. In June, and I'll be back probably by the 21st. So it's just almost half a month. So.
That's good. Yeah. Well, see what you. I hope
I'll bring up lots of goodies for you. Don't worry.
If you see a baseball cap, get me a Taiwan baseball cap.
Yeah, that's actually. I gotta write that down.
Yeah, I do like. I'm currently wearing one that Mateus bought me from his hometown, but I've got. Yeah, I've my friend Muffley buys me hats when he goes on holiday. I've got a few hats from France when he visits his family, and I'm always on the lookout for more hats. I'm always on the lookout for more hats. I can never have too many. So.
You can never have too many hats.
Yeah. So, and you can't. If you bring sweets and stuff, you can put on weight, but a hat can only keep you dry in a rainstorm. It's not going to make you put on weight.
So true.
Yeah. Anyway, well, have a nice time in Taiwan. And
I will try my best.
To hear. We'll talk to you about it when you get back. So.
And thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Brilliant host.
Hey! Well, you've done a lot of things. You've been helping. You've been making coffees and things. It's very well trained. Yeah. Well, we'll see you soon, and bye for now.
Bye.
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do?
My poor jangly keys.
They're leaving me blue.
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do? My poor old front door is the only lock that they knew.
I've lost my keys.
I'm so distraught. Where can they be?
I'm so darn fraught. My jangly keys, they didn't escape.
Where did I put them?
My mouth agape. Are they far away? Or really near me? Oh, keys, dear keys, can you not hear me?
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do? My poor old front door is the only lock that they knew.
I've lost my keys. I'm so upset.
So how much worse
can my life get? My jangly keys, it's really weird.
Where did I put them?
They disappeared.
It breaks my heart so.
It's just not nice.
They may have been stolen
by gangs of mice.
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do? My poor old front door is the only lock that they knew.
I've lost my keys. I'm oh so cross. They may be coated now with moss. My jangly keys are lying quiet.
It's something that
I sadly sigh at.
I must just face
that they're gone for good.
I must change the locks.
Yes, I know I should.
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do? My poor jangly keys. Best days now are through.
I've lost my keys.
Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need. I am scared for myself. Oh, what now shall we do? My poor old front door is the only lock that they knew. Losing your keys is the worst thing indeed. I am scared for those keys. They are lost and in need.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I must let Cromitty know. I think he'll be very interested. Yes. Cromitty, are you free? Oh, Yeti Uncle John, not you again. Yeah, I've been doing some research. I had to be very careful. I bumped into Paul. He asked what I was doing. I just told him I was working on a project. I tried to make it sound like I was, doing one of my mad schemes. He doesn't need to know it's one of your mad schemes. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, well, as long as he doesn't find out. No, I won't tell him. I definitely won't. No, he'll be very disapproving. Anyway, I've been doing research about forthcoming weddings and actually one or two funerals. So, in the next few weeks, because with marriages they get announced, don't they? Mr. and Mrs. Smith are very excited that their daughter, whatever a girl's called. Rumpelstiltskin or something. Our daughter Rumpelstiltskin is getting married, and yes, we're very excited, and it's on this date. No, well, thank you. Yeah, I've pinged you an email. You might want to look at your phone. All right, I will. Well, thank you, Yeti Uncle John, for doing this. I hope you deleted the, the history log. I did. Yes, I did. Not that Paul should be rooting around on my laptop, but I know what you mean. It's best to keep one's tracks covered. Oh yes, most certainly. It most certainly is. Yes. Well, thank you, Yeti Uncle John. I think that will be yes, good. Yes, you've done good work. Thank you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I can't wait to see how this all turns out. Oh, my belly's rumbling already. Oh, Yeti Uncle John. Hi guys, what's going on? Don't tell him anything. I won't tell him anything. Don't you tell him anything. Hi Paul, how are you? I'm good. Just checking out. How you doing? Oh, we're fine, aren't we, Yeti Uncle John? Yes. Your research is going okay? What have you got? Some new scheme? Oh yes, it's just involves butterflies and ice cream. Oh really? Sounds intriguing. It is intriguing. Always. Oh yes, it does sound intriguing. Have you been telling Cromitty your scheme? You've told Cromitty, but you've not told me. No, it's just... anyway, I had to ask Cromitty some advice. He knows a lot about butterflies, because they're science. Yeah. Yes, I was just helping him, Paul. It's really not very interesting. Oh, all right then. Well, anyway, we're running out of time, listeners. Just thought I'd come and check on these two before we had to finish. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hope you've enjoyed the songs. There may be at least one more coming up before we finish. Oh dear, you've not been inflicting those songs on people, have you, Paul? Oh, Yeti Uncle John, the songs are fun. The songs are fun, Paul. Well, I'm glad you think so. I hope the listeners do. As I said earlier, I don't know which ones they'll have been, but hopefully they'll have been entertaining. I'm sure they will have. All right. Well, that's about it for now. There are plenty of episodes in the can. Join us again soon, and we'll see you again. All right. Take care. Goodbye for now. Goodbye. Say goodbye, guys. Oh, yes. Goodbye, guys. Oh, yes. Goodbye, guys. So, Paul, how did you go about writing, these songs? I mean, it is fascinating to me. Obviously, AI, I do know something about it, but what I mean is, what gives you the ideas? Well, I mean, my friends and, family, and what I've been trying to do with the songs I've been working on recently is choose friends, and then write a song. It doesn't have to be anything that's actually real, but like I did What About Luca the Time Travelling Bear. Now obviously Gianluca is my friend in Italy. He isn't technically a bear, not really, not quite, not anyway, not like Pooh Bear. No, Paul, no, he's not. And he can't actually time travel, as far as I know. Well, other than standing still and then time passes around him. Yes, but he will be affected by it. He will be, yes, yeah. So I wrote a song about him, I wrote a song about Dealey being a werecat. And Dealey isn't a werecat, is he? No. I know it's a little bit insensitive, seeing as he was once accused of being a werekitten, but it wasn't him. But anyway, it made a good idea for a song. And I've written songs about giants and tinies, and I've been both a giant and a tiny. Oh, yes, you certainly have. messing around in my laboratory. Yes, and I wrote a song about Mateus being a monster, and so in one turn I'm taking people I know, and in another I'm writing something completely fantastical about them. It sounds great, Paul. Are we going to hear one more? I think so, yes. I think there's time. All right, listeners, have a listen to yet another song. It's from my new album. Oh, Paul, you sound like a rock star. Well, yeah. I mean, it'll be a Shy Yeti album, but, each song will have a different vocalist. Yes, Paul, it's fine. Just play the song. Oh, sorry, right, yes. Here comes the song.
Just as big as houses, and his name is Giant Jim. Teeny tiny is the boss though, even though he's 1 inch tall. Teeny tiny gives the orders, Jim is at his beck and call. Being tiny doesn't mean you can't be the one who's in control. Being giant doesn't always mean that you're always gonna reach your goal. Oh no. Giant Jim, he is so tall, so high above. Jim keeps Kowtow as his pets, but he feels used all out of love. With teeny tiny down below, he's always biting at Jim's toes, or will try hiding in his ears, or climbing boldly up his nose. Being giant doesn't mean that folk will always treat you right. Being tiny doesn't always mean that you'll sleep peacefully at night. Oh no. Master Tiny seems their feud, it never ends. Master Tiny seems so mighty, Jim just wants them to be friends. Teeny Tiny won't be drawn, the chances do seem rather slim. He doesn't make a lot of buddies, although he keeps his eye on Jim. Being tiny doesn't mean you're quite as tough as you appear. Being such a gentle giant sometimes means you disappear. Oh no. Feelings. A giant still gives them respect. They have a bond that can't be broken. What more than that can you expect? Oh no. I gotta go now.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Yes, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Wow, really? No kidding.
Thank you, darling, and you too. Bye-bye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Oh dear, Cromitty. You've not been indulging him, have you? Well, what do you mean, Yeti Uncle John? You've not been indulging Paul with these songs. there was time for one more song. It's fine. Well, that's what you say. I don't know. I guess the listeners can always fast forward. Why would they want to do something like that? That's just mean. It's just mean. The songs are fun. Yeah, well, we should take a poll. We are not going to take a poll. Oh, goodness me. Oh, you put all that hard work in it. The least they can do is listen. The least you could do is listen. Oh, dear. No, Yeti Uncle John, you expect Paul to listen to you about your latest scheme, and yet you won't listen to things that he does. It's quite mean. These things work both ways. You know, you show interest in one person, and then they'll show interest in you. It's not all about you, Yeti Uncle John. No, I know. Oh dear, you make me sound like a lot of meanie pants. Well, you can be. Anyway, I don't want to start an argument. I was very pleased with your work. You know, the research. Thank you, yes. I don't think Paul realised that there was more to it than we said. No, I don't think so either, so it's fine. I've worked out a couple of dates. It's not for a week or two, but maybe a little bit longer. But anyway, we'll just try a couple of them and see how it goes. If it's successful, then we can do more. Well, I can't wait. As I say, my belly can't wait either. Oh, yes. I really didn't think that you would be, part of this. I mean, a few months ago, imagine if I'd suggested doing this. You'd have had me marched off to the police station or something. Oh, well, I learned my lesson. And Uncle Warren, he made me think. So, yeah, I don't think he'd approve of this. No, but still, I listened to his advice. Oh, yeah, you did. All right, well, we'll see how it goes. Oh, yes, we will. Oh, yes. We'll see how it goes. What are those two talking about? I'm suspicious because they're talking in hushed tones. It doesn't bode well. Oh, they're probably planning on getting a pizza tonight. The portions at dinner aren't exactly the biggest, and if they're planning on getting pizza, then I want to be in on it, but those boys, hushed tones, it's not a good sign. Oh well. I wonder if there's any cheese in the fridge.
Some poems don't even rhyme. What's up with that?
Paul, that was a whopper. Whee. I'm flabbergasted. Oh, Paul, he's so sweet. God, is this show gonna end anytime soon? This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Et voilà.